So I say we start, unless there's anyone who wants to introduce himself that didn't yet.
You live in Canada now?
No, I don't live in Canada. I'll try to do a very, very, very quick biography of myself in 1 minute.
Okay.
So thank you, Yocheved. And if anybody didn't introduce himself, I'm very sorry. Did anybody not introduce? Okay, so we're going to start. Because I have Hallel in a few minutes. And if people came to write, then we'll have time to write, but it'll be a little bit shorter. So my name is Ahavia. Usually when I speak, I tell the story where I got my name, but I'm not going to now because Yocheved told me not to, so that will have to be a different time. But I did just do a little bit of a tour, give a few shiurim, like you said, the chaverim in the States. And I came back, and a lot of people said to me, I don't understand, how come you went to the States and you don't give any classes here? So tonight, actually, I have a Zoom where I'm in Hebrew, where I'm going to talk about it a little bit, so I can send you the link. I live now in Moshav Luzit, which is 20 minutes south of here. It's next to a jour. Next to a jour. I live in Luzit.
North,
South. It's towards Kiryat Gat. I grew up in Toronto. I made Aliyah when I was 18, which was a long time ago. I went to Bar Ilan. I lived for the first 5 years of our marriage in Gush Katif. We started a yeshuv there. We lived in Neve Kalim for 1 year. After that year, we started a yeshuv called Kerem Atzmona. We started with 2 families. We ended at the Gerush with over 25. It's a beautiful yeshuv, literally a stone's throw away from Chan Yunis, a little bit more than a stone's throw away from Rafiach, and that's where the yeshuv was that we lived. Then we lived in Yad Binyamin for 5 years. Then we moved up north to Yavnei for 10 years. Then we moved to Netzrat Elite, and now we live in Luzit. We lived in Netzrat Elite. Yeah. Baruch Hashem, we have 7 boys, and anyone who thinks right away 7 boys get Aiden, there's a reason. There's a reason. They're beautiful. Baruch Hashem, they're beautiful.
You gotta get raised, man.
But it's definitely
Are you aware there's a big microphone buried in?
Yeah, a jour. That's starting from a jour. Yeah. So, well, now I'm aware since I moved there. So I had a really good plan of what to talk about.
You're too fast for me.
Oh.
Where did you move just recently?
Oh, Luzit. It's very close to here. And my claim to fame is I have an aunt. My aunt lives a few houses down on Rephaim. Esther Marmer. She's my favorite person in the world. Esther Marmer. She lives on Nachal Rephaim. She's my favorite person in the world.
Okay.
So,
is this a city? A yeshuv?
Oh, Luzit. It's a yeshuv. It has about 120 families. It's just a beautiful place to live. Beautiful fields behind the house. Lots of place to talk to Hashem. On Friday, I totally got lost. I almost ended up in Karmegat, but my husband saved me, and he said to me, my husband goes to Uman a little. My husband said to me, he says to me, you either, what did he say to me when he picked me up? It's not the first time he picked me up from getting lost. He said something like you win or learn. Just make sure you're learning from your mistakes, that's all. So today I went to the field and I did 6 times around the same place.
Why 6?
That way I don't get lost. No, I had to come. I didn't want to be late.
Okay.
So I do want to talk a bit about Pesach and a bit about Nissan, and hopefully we will. Oh, I forgot also. I work as a soul therapy coach, which means that I help women find tools to bring healing to their lives. I work with somebody named Chava Shmilovich. She lives in Ramat Beit Shemesh Bet. She's been doing, for 25 years, she's been doing Torah-based psychology. Basically, I've been on and off with her for the last 15, 16 years, actively studying with her for 10 years, and I run her academy and her courses. Chava Shmilovich. She does everything in Hebrew, but she's very, very talented. And basically what we do is she takes Ramchal, she takes Rabbi Nachman, she takes Balatanya, she takes Rav Usher, she takes the sources and she creates techniques where we can heal, where we can really bring healing into our lives. And I read something so beautiful, which is also what we were talking about in the safe room, that, very often, this happened to me. This might be something that you're familiar with. Since I think first grade, the teacher said to my parents, your daughter, she has so much potential, but she's not living up to her potential. Now, that's really annoying. And it's almost, there's like a tiny bit of like, it's not nice. Because basically it's saying, whatever, she could be better, but she's not, she's a loser, right? So I heard something beautiful from Yaakov Klein. I studied his course, The Lost Princess. He has a book called The Lost Princess, and he taught a course. And one of the most powerful things he said, instead of saying to a parent, your child has a lot of potential and they're not living up to it, what if we were to say, your child is pure and holy and incredible. There's just a little bit of dust we have to shake off. And when I read that it fits so much into something Rabbi Moshe Weinberger taught a few years ago before Rosh Hashanah. This was something that he was going over and over in the talks before Rosh Hashanah. He said, on Yom Kippur, he said, when Hashem said to Adam HaRishon, Ayeka, where are you? Where are you that you think that you have to hide behind a tree? Okay, you made a bit of a mistake. It's okay, we're going to fix it. You'll get a few punishments here and there. But you don't have to hide from me. I still love you. I'm still with you. First, we have to see ourselves like that. We're that beautiful diamond. We're that diamond that can never, ever, ever get lost. We're that diamond that can never get muddy. Everything on the outside is just illusions. It's not us. Our essence is what we have to work to find now. When we're searching for chametz and we're getting rid of the chametz, what we're doing is we're shaking off that little dust. We're bringing out our diamond. That's our work now. I'm sure everyone here has heard at least one shiur pre-Pesach, right? Maybe 1, 2, 3, at least a few inspirational statuses. You're amazing. While you're cleaning for Pesach, try to be happy. Do it with simcha. I haven't heard, maybe I'm not looking for it, but I haven't heard very many Rabbanim now talking about how, be more machmir, be more machmir, be more machmir, put that sock on the tap and put some moldy sock on the tap so that the water comes out moldy, but then if there's chametz in the kinner, you won't be able to drink it. Like, that's not the people I'm listening to, and I haven't heard it lately so much. But we are trying to bring simcha into our cleaning, which isn't always so easy, right? Even that sometimes can put pressure on us. Okay, so get rid of the chametz in your soul. We have to fix our midot, but that can also bring us. We're just trying to be good yidden, and that's the idea. I told you I had this whole plan, everything written out. What I want to talk about today, but I thought about this morning. I want to talk a little bit about space.
Wow.
Space. Space is huge. The cutest girl, 12 years old, was talking to me last week, and she was telling me how, her siblings, they take over all her room, and she doesn't have any room for anything, and her sister has this much stuff, and her other sister has this much stuff, and she has no room, and she wants to have more space. I said to her, you know what your job is? Take one shelf in your room, one shelf in your closet. Clean everything off of it. Leave it clean, and don't put anything on it. When we feel like we have space, there's room. There's room to bring in our neshama. There's room to bring in our connection to Hashem. I'll try to just give a few points from it. I went to an incredible marriage seminar a few months ago with somebody named Hedy Schleifer. She's incredible. She has a very, very special technique on marriage therapy. She does it she works with couples, and that's her job. She's been doing it for 50 years, and she helps couples. I've done her technique Chava uses her technique with also friends or children or other situations, not only marriage, relationships. But the idea of the technique is that between a husband and wife, she came to Israel to teach it specifically for 3 days to therapists, and then she taught it for 2 days with Miluim couples who were seriously traumatized by the war, and even there were parents there who had lost children, and she taught the technique to help them stabilize their marriages and bring healing to their marriages with what they were going through. So the first part of her technique, and she actually suggests people to do it on Rosh Chodesh. She calls it the Rosh Chodesh ritual. She was born during the Holocaust. She lives in Washington, and she came to Israel especially to teach the technique. So basically, she says between a husband and a wife, there are 3 invisible connectors. There's the meeting between them. There's a bridge between them, which means basically I cross the bridge into my husband's world, and then he crosses the bridge into my world. And then there's the space between them. Our house has space. Every relationship has space. Space in Hebrew is the makom. Makom is Hashem, right? It's Hashem's name, hamakom. When I do a therapy session with a woman, there's the woman, there's myself, and there's the makom. There's Hashem. There's a space between us. When we put into our house positivity and love, we're elevating that space with positivity and love. So when we think about the space while we're cleaning, what are we trying to do? We're trying to get rid of the dust, to find the diamond, and to create that space, to create space inside ourselves. The Eish Kodesh, there's a Eish Kodesh shul also right down the block here. So the Rebbe Mipietzner, he once called 2 students into his office, and he said to them, I want to teach you something new. I want to teach you something that's going to be life-changing. He said, I'm going to teach you something that's going to connect you. The Rebbe said it to 2 of his students. No, his uncle, his great uncle. The Eish Kodesh, the Pietzner Rebbe. He called 2 students into his office and said, I'm going to teach you something that's life-changing. It's not easy, but it's life-changing. I'm going to teach you how to quiet your mind. He said, empty your mind. And it's hard, because the first thing we want to empty our mind is what happens? All the thoughts come in. All the thoughts come in. He said, don't worry about it. He said, the thoughts come in, just try to disconnect. Just try to watch the thoughts go by. It's okay. We're practicing emptying the mind. Now, mindfulness, right? Everybody's mindfulness. It's a huge movement. Mindfulness, transcendental, whatever. But they're not really doing mindfulness because they're doing mind emptiness. The whole purpose that the Rebbe was teaching his students to do mind emptiness after you get to a point, and it's hard, and he didn't expect them to empty their mind in 2 minutes and everything will be clear, but to work on it. He said, just work on it. Just work on emptying your mind. As your mind's empty and you don't stress about it, slowly, what can you put in? You can bring in Emunah. Take a pasuk, take a nigun, 1 pasuk, 1 mantra, 1 nigun, and just bring it in and let it come from your head to your heart. We learn so much Torah nowadays. There's so many books. There's so much to learn. So many shiurim, so many workshops, so many learn this, and we almost have like FOMO. We have fear of missing out. We don't want to miss this shiur. We don't want to miss this workshop. We don't want to miss this. There's so much. And then I always call it like the bobo, because we have on our head, we have the bobo. We end up being so heavy on top, and we learn so much, and we're so smart. But how can we bring it to our heart? How do we bring it to our heart? So one of the tools that we can use to bring it to our heart is, first thing is to open our heart and bring space in so that we can bring it in, just bring it down a little bit. And to acknowledge the fact that sometimes our heart's a little bit broken. And it's okay. One of the things Rabbi Moshe Weinberger brings in his book on Haggadah Shel Pesach is he says, matzah and chametz are the same letters. The only difference is the matzah it's a little bit broken. The chet's broken, it turns into a hay. When our heart's broken, we're a little bit sabrochen. It's okay. You don't have to be, oh my gosh, I'm broken, I have so much trauma, I can't do anything. It's okay. When we bring the Emunah in, and we work on reminding ourselves who we are, then even if we're a little bit broken, it's okay. We can sit there and we can feel the pain a little bit. I said before, like, we're trying so hard to fix ourselves, to fix our midot. Chametz is gaiva. We're trying to get, the bread is like the gava. It's the arrogance. But what's the source of arrogance? The source of arrogance, most people, not everybody, but many people are very arrogant because their self-esteem is basically 6 feet under the ground. If we can elevate our self-esteem, if we can see ourselves for who we are, if we can remember that there's a diamond there, a beautiful shining diamond inside of us, then we won't be as gaivadik. We won't have that gaiva. Instead of fighting against the gaiva, we're seeing who we really are. When we talk to Hashem, and we can say to Hashem, Hashem, please help me see myself the way you see me. Hashem, please help me open my neshamadik eyes. Open pokeach ivrim. We say every morning, pokeach ivrim. Open my eyes to see who I really am. Open my eyes to remind myself that I'm a neshama. I'm a holy neshama. I'm pure and holy. I say this almost every time I speak, and I believe it with my full heart. Why did that video of Yehuda Becher, Hashem Yikom Damo, why did it go viral? That video where the night, Yehuda Becher was a beautiful soul from, he lived in Beitar, his father lives in Beit Shemesh. He was killed in Nova. And it took a few days for his Levaya. And then on Thursday night, there was Levaya. And then right after, like I think a few hours after Levaya, his father sent me. After. So his father, of course. So his father sent me the video of Elokai Shaman. It was so raw. I thought, how could, it was so personal. And then it went, millions of people watch it. I have friends who told me they literally watch it every morning before they say Birkot HaShachar. And I was once speaking to his sister, and she said to me, she's like, I wonder why it was so powerful. I said, because we're yearning. We want so badly to remember who we are. We're in a different stage now. We're not like we were not 50 years ago, we're not 40 years ago, we're not 10 years ago. We're so close to the Geula. We can't even imagine what the Beis HaMikdash is going to be like. But we're getting closer. And the closer we get, the more we need to feel that love. The more we're feeling that lacking of love. And I don't remember who it was, but someone was talking about how important it is to be compassionate. That's the trick. When we love ourselves and we're open, we give space to love ourselves, then we're able to shine. Vayhi, or I heard this quoted, I don't know where the source is, Rabbani Rachel Bazak, I heard her say, it says in the Zohar, Vayhi, or let there be light. The Zohar says, let there be love. And it makes sense because it makes sense with chesed. So chesed is love, but I'm not sure exactly where it says it. But yeah, we need love now. We need love for our relationships. We need love for our family. We need love for seeing the other person. And we need love for seeing ourselves. We need to see ourselves with love. And if we can take upon ourselves now, in the next 14 days, as we lead up to the holiest of holy, the high of high, the night of like full therapy, right, session. It's like the ability for Pesach night to clean all our traumas and clean all our blockages and clean all our dust, and for us to reveal those diamonds. There's so much power on in 2 weeks from now, B'ezrat Hashem, on Seder night, that we have. It's just this night that's full of potential. It's like a power wash. Now we're trying to wash, but we're leading up to we're trying to wash to get rid of the chametz. But we're all going to get to Seder night. Some people will have their walls painted, some people will have their windows cleaned, and some people will just have their floors swept. Whatever, we do the best we can. We do according to what koach we have. But when we get to Seder night, and we're sitting and we're eating the matzah, and we put the matzah in our mouth, and we just think, Hashem, please give me emunah. Please open my space that the emunah can come in. And just think about how much Hashem loves us. How much Hashem loves us. I won't go into it too deeply, but Yocheved, do I have till 11:15 or 11:30?
For sure till 11:25.
Okay, so I won't tell the whole story, but I was adopted.
Because I need every second.
That's 13 minutes.
Okay, I was adopted, and my parents both Holocaust survivors. Second generation Holocaust survivors. Their dream was to have a family, children. And they lived in a place outside of Toronto called Thunder Bay. And one day, it's like 10 hours north of Toronto, the middle of nowhere. And Erev Shabbos, they were sitting, it was a couple months after they got married, and they were both thinking, what would we call our daughter when we have a daughter? And they both thought at the same time of my name, Ahavia. And they didn't know then that they weren't going to be able to have children. Only a few years later, they found out they wouldn't be able to have children. And Baruch Hashem, they adopted me. But Rabbanit Tamar Tabak said something.
Adopted?
Yeah, adopted. Rabbanit Tamar Tabak said something I love. She said, Hashem loves us. Hashem loves all of us, and Hashem's love always comes to us. But it doesn't always come the way we expected. My parents thought of my name. They knew they were going to have a daughter named Ahavia, but it came a little bit of a different way than expected. Hashem loves us. Ani Hashem lo sheniti. He never stopped loving us. He's never going to stop loving us, no matter what we do. Not only that, I heard a shiur recently from Rav Yaakov Danishevsky, and he said that when we're in that like high, amazing, powerful, spiritual moment, and we're in Hallel, and we're all the women together, and we're connected, I didn't even start the shiur because of what happened at the beginning. I didn't start properly, but in my mind, I was connecting us to each other, to Am Yisrael, and bringing light, B'ezrat Hashem, to our chayalim, to our hostages, to the families of who need our support, and we're really, with us learning together, we're bringing that light. But Rav Danishevsky said, when we're in that place where we're feeling so spiritually high and we're davening and we really feel it, that's amazing. But sometimes we feel so far from that. I could be, he didn't give the example, but I have these examples. When you're cleaning, it's late, you're tired, they're not helping you, you're cleaning some corner of something, you find the Cheerio on the couch, and you're like, but there is chametz here, I promise you, there's chametz here, help clean, and nobody's helping you clean, and you really want that clean, and it's Erev Pesach, and you're stressed, and you feel so far from Hashem, so far from the Ruchnias, so far from all those shiurs that you listen to are like way gone, right? You just want to get to the Seder alive, right? Hashem is there, and not only that, but He's there even stronger than when you feel it. And let's leave alone when we're cleaning for Pesach, when we're really doing stuff. Also, I forgot, we yelled at some kids, we had some anger come out, some gaiva come out, some maybe a patch here and there, whatever it is. But we're really like feeling really bad. The guilt is like, we're like 6 feet under, guilt. And then you listen to some really, really very inspiring rabbi that says, guilt is chametz, it's the worst thing in the world, and it's terrible, and it's Yetzer Hara. And you're like, well, I can't get rid of it. I'm feeling guilty. It is what it is. Even when you're in that place where you feel so bad about yourself and what you've done, Hashem is there. Not only that, but then Danishevsky explained from the Tanya that when there's a light and it's shining on you and you feel the light, that's when you're really inspired. But the light, in order to go to a very, very far place, it has to work hard to shine farther. So the farther you feel, the light's shining even more. So when you're in that lowest of the low place, then the light's shining even more. And there's even more of that Kedusha, more of that Shechina. There's a beautiful quote that I love from Rabbi Natan in Birkat HaReach, where he talks about, in Likutei Halachot, where he talks about that there are places in the world that are the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the low. And he's not talking about when you're cleaning for Pesach and you're a little bit angry at your kids. He's talking about a kid who's in a bar, who's in a who knows what, who's in some South America in the lowest of the low with whatever. I don't want to get into details, but a kid who's totally not shining their light at that point, or whatever it is. Somebody who's really, really, really far. He said someone who's the lowest of the lowest of the low, and they have those moments where they look up and they say Aye, and they look up and they say Hashem. He said not only are they bringing up their sparks, but they're bringing up the sparks of thousands and thousands and thousands around them. They're elevating the shamas around them. And those are the places that the tzaddikim don't go. Those are the places that the big tzaddikim don't go. It's only neshamas that were willing to come down to this world and willing to go to the lowest of the low places. And in that place, and when they're feeling, somebody said to me on Friday, she said, I can't keep Shabbos now. What should I do? What should I do so I can feel better? I said, keep Shabbos for 5 minutes. Keep Shabbos for 5 minutes. Say, Hashem, I'm keeping Shabbos for you. You know what that is? When a girl wants so badly to keep Shabbos, but she can't. And I say to her, just keep Shabbos for 5 minutes. That's huge. That's huge. It's incredible. You can't even think about that. So I want a message that I want to leave with all of us to go away. That B'ezrat Hashem, we are incredible. Hashem loves us. Hashem loves our children. Hashem loves our families. He wants what's best for us. When we feel far, when we feel like it's too much, when we feel like we have this heavy, heavy load on top of us and it's just too much and there's so much to do, just put your hand on your heart and say, Hashem, I need to feel you now carrying me. I need to feel you. Please, Hashem, help me feel you carrying me. And then just hear Hashem saying to you, I'm with you. Ani itach, I'm with you. And that gives us koach for the next couple of hours in what we're doing. So I basically skipped everything I wanted to talk about, but I do want to end with a beautiful letter that was written by Chava Shmilovich. I translated it to English, and then we'll do a little meditation, and then we'll go from there into Hallel.
This is from the lady that you
In bed. So it's a love letter to you, my precious daughter, in honor of the month of Nissan that is now already here. To my beloved daughter, to you I have given the month of Nissan, in which are hidden miracles that rise above the natural order. I have given you Pesach and the mitzvah to prepare for the Seder night, and for Pesach with love, and the chametz to remove from your home with joy. My commandments, my holidays, I give out of great love towards you, and I never wish to burden you. My only intention is to bring you goodness. And so, my dear daughter, please remember me in cleaning, whose entire purpose is to cleanse you from negative traits and from destructive thoughts. The physical chametz is a metaphor for the true chametz that I desire you to remove. Remember to crown me over every trial. Lamli choti b'kol nisayon. When we have a test, when we have a challenge, just say Hashem, that's you. I didn't ask for the extra chumot. I don't want you to be overly strict. Not with yourself and not with your family. It is for you who I wish to endow with the light of redemption, the light of Geula, with a departure from bondage to freedom. Do what you're able, and I will complete the rest. I am sending you many good messengers to help you. Open up to all the help that's given to you, in every way and in every form. I have given you the power of Emunah, and joy shall adorn your face, to pass every test in connection to me and in love. You are capable. Prepare your home with intention, to invite me in, and that is the most important thing, that I may dwell deep within your heart, so that your heart will not become a dwelling place for negative emotions, stress, anger, and lack of faith. Cleanse your heart from the chametz and from the yetzer hara. Remember my presence at all times and in every place. You are never alone. I am always with you. You are truly my precious daughter. You will yet see one day my love. I always surround you with my endless kindness. With love, Abba. And now